Here we are, Lyle and I, Tremont, Utah. We're almost clear through the state into Idaho, headed to Vancouver Island, Canada, to look at a exotic species of wood. We'll explain that a little bit more as we get going. On my trip to Canada with Lyle, I learned quite a bit about Arbutus and how he was able to stabilize it. It hasn't really been used in construction, and it was by accident that he found a way to stabilize the wood and keep it straight and keep it from checking and cracking and warping. And that was by soaking it in clay ponds for multiple years. Lots of logs there. Looks like Doug fir. Mostly. Holy cow. Doug fir forever. Well, we're here. Almost. A couple miles of the Canadian border. Going from the US to Canada. That wasn't so bad.
No. They're pretty cool about it.
That's about a 2-minute crossing. Nothing like Mexico.
No.
So this is my first time getting on the ferry. This might be interesting. You can see all these cars. There's even semis on here. Pretty crazy. You got cars on both sides of this ferry. Well, it's time to get off this boat. 90 minutes to the house, so here we go. We're at the little mill here. So is this some of the stuff that's been through your process?
Yeah. All this.
It's pretty stable. It looks like it's holding together pretty good.
Really good.
I'm interested in doing the live edge table. There's a big store down in Vegas that wants to buy from me.
Okay.
And they're real high end. I mean, they're super
I've
high
seen
end.
some of them stuff they have
Yeah.
down there. You know, Lyle got some exceptional Arbutus for, you know, anywhere in the world. It's,
So what makes it so unique is it only grows on the island, right?
yeah. Well, and it's a really beautiful,
Yeah.
like, wood.
Oh yeah, look at the grain in that thing. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you don't see them, you don't see a lot of rot in them, unless, of course, they die. You know? They get cat face, so they get, the tops die, but they
Yep.
scar all the way down on one side, and then the rot gets in them, and the rot works its way up and cones out. And you can still get nice, you know, collars or.
See, this is not black here. This is good stuff here.
Yeah, that's pretty. So is that Arbutus before you cut it right there?
When the knots of the branches come out, they kind of grow over,
Yeah.
and when you cut through those, you get a really neat looking rings around those.
So when you cut through that, you can see that gives it that bird's eye look. Yeah.
Because, you know, we don't cut into Arbutus a lot. Like, it's a specialty type of wood. Hard to find people that really know Arbutus type lumber.
What's this one that's split here?
This here is a cherry, well, this is a cedar,
Okay.
likely, I think so.
He gave me some big old slabs of cedar.
This is wild cherry.
Really?
Yeah. Right here, and it does grow around here.
Does it actually produce a fruit? Or just
I
a,
think it does, but yeah, I don't.
it's not edible?
It's really bitter.
Yeah. So what you got here, Lyle?
Very large Arbutus.
Oh yeah. That makes some pretty tables. How stable is that going to be?
Oh, very.
Has it been just air drying?
No. That's RA. Rainbow Arbutus.
How much rain do you get here? What's the annual rainfall here?
Gee, that's a good question. On the west coast, there's only one other place in the world, it's in Brazil, that gets more annual rain
Yeah.
than the spot on the west coast of Vancouver Island.
What's our annual rainfall? 8 inches?
8 to 10, I think.
I would say we get over 100 inches.
So this is part of the process, and how long do they stay in the water?
It'll be 4 years.
Wow.
Like a fine wine. You get a vintage.
See the scum on top?
Yep.
That's supposed to be the stuff that is dissolving.
So the arbutuses are felled and then put into this pond, and they soak in there for 4 years. And what do you think the chemical reaction is? Just, you don't know, but it does its thing.
It's a blue clay.
Yeah, I see the clay on the logs that come out. So how many ponds have you got?
Lots.
He just puts the hemlock and others on top for weight.
Okay, gotcha. Because they probably want to float, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, I mean they're thick right down. How deep is that pond, Lau?
15 feet.
15 feet.
But it's stacked like cordwood in there. Well, I'm betting.
So these have been slabbed, stickered, banded,
Yep.
and soaked since 2018. Look at the colors in that.
But it's pretty colors
You
right
ink
now.
that one out. Let's take it home.
Looking like cottonwood to me in this one.
Yeah. Large diameter too.
Oh yeah, there's some big
Yeah.
cottonwood around here.
You got it.
Wow. Let's see.
Have you ever seen the blacktail on the island?
Yeah.
Are they here?
Oh yeah.
Like right here?
Probably seen some today.
Oh, I'd love to see a blacktail.
Lots of alder down here. I wish we had pictures of this when you dug it out. Like it's
I have it.
deep. Like this one's like close to 20 feet deep, I bet.
So you just used an excavator and put your alder across there and then threw your stumps on top of that?
Right, just for weight.
Well, you got quite an operation here, Lyle.
Well, something. But see, these were put in about 4 months after they were cut. And that makes a big difference. Because they still think they're alive.
Still trying to grow, huh?
Trying to go. All these are stumps we cut off and just put on top to weight everything down so it doesn't want to float everywhere.
There are 5 ponds total on this place, and they're all full of logs soaking and curing. Now that we're done with that, we're going to head on over to a couple of ocean containers and look at some other Arbutus and some Burls and some other stuff that's all cut up and slabbed. So we're going to head on over there now. Oh yeah. These are maple?
Yep. All burls. That's why they showed the pictures up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are gorgeous.
This is solid burl.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, the cogs are turning. That would make a coffee table or your Chinese tea table or...
What do you think it would go for if, when it was finished?
I have no idea. I mean, I've seen them as much as $20,000. Oh yeah, look at the size of that thing. Wow. So you have to slice that with the Alaskan sawmill, right?
Well, this is cut in half so far. And that's when you hit a rock and wouldn't go anymore.
I would say there's not a bigger one around ever. You know?
No, I've never seen a burl that big.
And it's beautiful.
You're probably looking $8,000 to $10,000 a slab
At least. Yeah.
if you
No,
can.
probably more than that because these are not. These aren't anywhere.
No.
This would be a good story, like go from start to finish to film it.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
And then the person that ends up buying one of the slabs, you know, to get the story. I'd even interview like George,
Yeah.
the guy who got it, and he would probably tell you exactly
What island it came
where.
from?
It came from the Gulf Islands.
Look at the size of that thing. It's got to be 8 feet across.
You did measure it, yeah.
7 and change. And
It's 8 feet that way. Got to be.
Well, it's very close to.
Wow. And you're right. You make a story out of it.
I challenge anyone to find a bigger broadleaf maple burl. Imagine how hard it was to get it here from the islands like that.
Yeah.
It was a big, we have slices off of this.
Oh yeah.
Now this is quilted maple here.
But that makes beautiful live edge tables too.
Oh, sure does.
Any of it.
This has been soaked. So
Is this
that's what makes it.
cedar?
Yeah, you can have some wood in there.
More burls
Oh yeah.
and more burls. Holy cow.
More burls.
An 8-foot burl is unheard of, like you said. It's just,
No.
Well, and a maple. I mean, we would find some spruce burls that would be that big in the Queen Charlotte's. Like, that's not unheard of. But for a maple, I mean, you know, we used to go do challenges like around Vancouver Island, and we had the biggest tree contest. You know, so we would go, people would call in and say, hey, I got a big maple, or hey, I got a big fir, and we'd even fly in helicopters and we have recorded. And you would not, I mean, you'd be pressed to find a maple. You know, some of them are over 100 centimeters. I don't know what that is in inches, whatever. But
3 feet. And see, I've got one of the best metal fabricators in the whole world right in my backyard. We can get the legs powder coated if you wanted to go with like a metal leg, which most of your modern stuff now is a metal leg powder coated with one of these sitting on it.
Lyle, he stepped up when he bought all these burls too, right? More like, it didn't come cheap.
No, I know.
He stepped up, like he really did.
He's told me he spent some money on them. Well, I hope I can do something to help you.
Well, which ones do you want? That's the question. That's why we're here.
Well, all of them. I'd love to work a couple over. So if you was to count the burls and say this is how many we've got, and when they're done, they're done. It's an a limited edition type thing.
Well, they're all different. That's the thing. I mean, coming off some off the same log,
But every one of them has its own personality.
oh yeah.
Oh, see that right there? Slab that sucker up. And then you put all your color in the middle. Man, and you got Arbutus till the cows come home. See, and that's the stuff I like. The rot, the live edge, I mean, you got worm tracks here, a little bit of rot. Clean all that out, and then the epoxy just fills it back in. So we got lots of choices here. Lyle's trying to pin me down, and I'm trying to comprehend what we got.
I'm just saying. I'm letting you know it's here. I don't know how much time you want to spend here.
No, I know. I want to get the best bang for the buck and something that's going to impress. I think we need to start with a couple of burls and a couple of the Arbutus. Even that ugly thing. That right there would make a beautiful table. I mean, as ugly as that looks, that's probably worth more than these pretty ones.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right there, that's what people want.
This.
Is that maple?
No, this is Arbutus.
That's the bark off the Arbutus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you know how much we got.
Yeah.
You ever figured we'd have that much?
Nope. You said you had 1 or 2 bunks. So we're in a clear cut area. How long ago do you think that was harvested?
Oh, how long, Lyle? 5 years ago?
Wow.
6 years ago?
6 at least.
So the Arbutus comes back pretty quick.
No, these weren't cut.
No?
No, these big ones, no.
No, but like back there where you got clumps growing out of the stem. And look at that Arbutus. That's cool. So here's another clear cut area. So we just crossed a bridge coming over to look at one of these plots where they're doing timber cutting, and we're gonna head back across it. But I'd say it's probably 200 feet from the bridge to the water. Holy cow. That is way down. I'll bet there's fish in there. Wow. That's some pretty cool looking stuff. I'll bet there's some big old fish in there. That's a tributary to the Pacific, so the salmon run in the fall. If you think Lyle's Mill and operation was cool, wait till you see this place right here. This is one of the highlights of my visit to Canada, was visiting this wet dock and watching the operations and picking out some pretty cool burls. All right, we're here at the burl yard with Ken and Glenn. We just watered this burl down. That's the bear paw. Look at that. Oh, that's gonna be gorgeous. What do you think, Lyle?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
You gotta check out one of these cedar runs too.
This, look at the bear claw here. That's probably, well, they got measurements. It's 46 by 55. So that's 4 by almost 5. And this container's clear full of them. Burls, burls, burls. If anyone wants a burl, I can hook you up. We're gonna throw some water on there and watch the color pop. Oh yeah. And that's what it'll look like with the resin on it.
That's what it looks like with
Yep.
the resin on it. It
Yep.
pops right out like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
These are actually
set, huh?
butterfly set
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Actually, probably all 3 of these came from the same burl.
That's cool.
You want to splash the big bear claw?
Yeah,
This one here I wanted to get here.
so by putting the water on it, it gives it the look of the epoxy resin. Brings all the grain out and just pops.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna try to get back up here in August. I want to do some fishing and
That's the time to come.
load up some more burls and
Get some big kings and some silvers.
yeah, whatever we can catch. This is pretty cool here. All these logs coming in to the bay. They're floating them down river. Then you got a tugboat out there skidding. I've never seen a tugboat skid before. And then you got a big loader here pulling them out of the bay, putting them into the dry dock. This is quite an operation here. This is pretty cool. So we're gonna go back in, load up a bunch of burls, and we're gonna bring them home and do some epoxy pour on them and see how that turns out.
I know it's not very big diameter, but when I see this,
Oh yeah.
like I know what's gonna be inside there, and it's got a little bit of girth to it, but I think you get some nice cutting out of that. But whenever you see this really bumpy,
That's something cool.
like
That's
this
all burl, yeah.
Why,
Yeah.
you could make a $2,000 mandel out of that. If you straightened the back and left all the wane and slabbed it 4, you could probably get 2 out of it, out of each 8-foot chunk.
Yeah.
You could get 4 mandels out of that easy.
Yeah.
Before we get too far with this, why don't you jump in the truck with me? I'll take you up and show you the bit of Arbutus.
Oh yeah, look at the size of that puppy. That's wide enough to make a table out of.
Definitely take that one.
Slab it up.
4 pieces of that here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Let me take those.
And then you can see up in the back corner there the big pile
Oh, you
of
got the
roots.
stumps, the
All
root
the
balls.
stumps.
Yep.
Nice thing about them is they've all been washed in the ocean, so most of the soil's gone from them, so it won't be a,
So you can cut them a little easier.
well, that and it won't be a big issue to ship them down.
What about this one?
Oh,
right here?
gotcha.
Yeah, they don't grow straight.
So there's logs even on the other side of the bay, just lined the bay.
Yep, yep. That's all. So there's wood comes in, we sort it here, It comes in and gets stored over there until we can get to it. It gets brought over here to sort.
And you just choke it to the side, or just?
Yeah, it's just tied to the shoreline.
Wow. So they cut this timber up river or up the island, and then they pull it down here with tugboats.
This is one piece I should show you. So this is
Oh,
a
yeah.
stick
Yeah.
that's been in the ocean, and the Chorritos have got at it. So if you open that up, it's all pocketed with
Like
holes and stuff.
worm tracks.
Worm tracks. It's all Swiss cheese.
Wow. What species is that? An alder?
Looking at it, no, that's probably a hemlock.
Hemlock? Those are big. I didn't realize hemlock got so tall.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's a 120 footer.
Wow.
I mean, this is a 66-foot long log.
Yeah.
There's a standard boomstick.
Quite an operation.
Let's get you loaded up.
Okay, we're leaving the mill. Now we're headed over to another mill to pick up the Arbutus that's been kiln dried and slabbed. Then we are going to hit the ferry and take the 19-hour ride all the way back to Utah. If any of you are interested in a burl or some Arbutus, please leave a comment and I will get back a hold of you. We're on the last leg of this 1-week journey to Vancouver Island. Stay tuned and we'll keep you updated on the Arbutus and some other cool stuff that we found in our travels. Thanks, and we'll catch you in a little bit.